I now call on the ranking member, Mrs. Waters of California, to be recognized for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Federal banking regulators are prohibited from owning a bank as long as they serve in a capacity where they are regulating banks. This is to ensure that there is no conflict of interest, making sure they're not in a position to make decisions as a regulator where they favor their own business interests and profit-making instead of what makes good sense that's in the public's interest. Is that a sensible prohibition, Acting Chair Hill?
Yes, Congresswoman.
Vice Chair Bauman, Section 10 of the Federal Reserve Act states, and I quote, "No member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System shall be an officer or director of any bank, banking institution, trust company, or Federal Reserve Bank, or hold stock in any bank, banking institution, or trust company. Since the federal regulates banks, does this prohibition make sense to you to ensure there are no conflicts of interest?"
Yes, it does, Congresswoman.
These common sense conflict of interest laws are good policy. Unfortunately, the president inserted himself in what used to be an independent regulatory process, given the White House now must now review and approve all rules put forward by your agencies, and the White House reviews your budget. Given this new dynamic, should the president be prohibited from owning any business where he has a role in regulating them as long as he's in office, whether it's a crypto business, a bank, or anything else? Vice Chair Bauman?
I don't have anything for you on that.
Acting Chair Hill, what do you think?
I'll echo the comments of my colleague, Vice Chair Bowman.
Well, now, everybody, we're talking about the Central Bank of the United States of America, supposedly independent. Well, I think this represents a massive conflict of interest, and that Congress should act to ensure we have rules set and enforced by those who will not be personally enriched by their public work. We should start by enacting my bill, the Stop Trump in Crypto Act, to ensure that Trump and his family, as well as future presidents, cannot commit crypto corruption. Vice Chair Bauman, I appreciated your brief conversation last week and learning you support diversity, equity, and inclusion. In the past, you have remarks indicating that support to minority depository institutions, that is MDIs, women-owned depository institutions, and community development financial institution is, quote, an important part of the Federal Reserve's mission to provide a safe, sound, and accessible banking system that protects consumers. So accordingly, do you support the Trump administration's efforts to get rid of the CDFI fund? What would that mean for these CDFI banks that provides access to credit in rural communities that the feds oversees? And by the way, I understand you get a list of words you can't use when you're dealing with this direction of the president. What do you think about this?
We definitely recognize the important role that CDFIs play in their unique role in expanding access to capital and to financial services. The Federal Reserve continues to have a program that supports CDFIs from a technical perspective, which is called Partnership for Progress, and these are important investments that the Federal Reserve continues to make.
I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I know that I'm asking you some questions that puts you in a very difficult situation at a time when the President of the United States does not recognize you as an independent agency. This is a central bank of the United States of America, under control somewhat now by the President of the United States, who owns cryptocurrency and his family. And he's trying to influence and is influencing the rules of the game. And so I'm just outraged by it. I am absolutely outraged that a time in the history of the United States of America, with other countries looking at us, that we are in a position where we don't have an independent central bank, that the President of the United States is in a direct conflict of interest, and is brazen about it, who's raising all of the money that he can possibly raise at the time that he's the President of the United States. Thank you for being here. And my question to you are almost unfair, because there's nothing you can do about it. But somebody's got to do something about it. I yield back the balance of my time.